Hello, so I'm just using up some scrap clay again. This is rolled out on a number 2, and these were a practice pair I did just to give you an idea. I'm going to be doing the ones on this tutorial in silver, but that's just showing you them in a different colour. So anyway, this is rolled out on a number 2. It's just scrap clay from a tutorial that went wrong. So I've got a texture sheet, and it's got kind of a rocky look, you know, sort of thinking anything that's moon cratery. So that one's suited. So I'm using the acrylic block, behaving, and go back to doing it my way. So just make sure you've got a nice sort of rough texture. Okay, so then I'm going to just choose my cutters. So I'm going to have them mirroring each other, and I'm actually going to make them on this tile. So this is why I'm doing this like this. Okay, so I'll just peel away the skeleton. I'm just going to make 2 holes now, so they're done, so I can work around them. So I've got some small Swavorski crystals in different sizes. And I'm using one of those pencils that are supposed to pick them up, and it didn't want to work. But, no. I'm just cutting off some very small circles. I don't want to embed the diamonds, so I want something behind them. So I'm just doing very small balls. We'll just give them something to cushion them so they don't go in deep. I'm just placing them where I want the diamonds to go. I've chosen to put 2 bigger ones in the centre and make them slightly smaller as they go out. Just press them gently so they embed. There's a point where you can still move them around where you want, because of the ball underneath. It makes it easier to find the point you want. And I'm just using the tissue blade to flatten them down a little bit. So I'm just going to do the same with the rest. Making the ball smaller if the crystal is smaller, you know, as they go down in size. I decided to add just one more above the biggest one and two below because of the hole at the top where you put the ear insert. So I'm just evening them out. Okay, so I'm just checking them out, checking they're tidy. Just saw a little bit that needed texturing. Okay, so now I'm going to start rolling out some really thin sliver sausages. The thinner the better. Okay, so I roll some sausages out. I'm using the slightly thicker ones around the centre crystal, and all I'm doing is gently pushing it around the edge, but making sure it very, very slightly overlaps, just to make sure that the crystal's safely embedded. Now I don't want them smooth, I want it to look like the crystal's in a crater. Smooth wouldn't look right, so I'm just giving it a gentle dab with the rubber tip. Okay, so I've just been making a few little swirls, so I'm just rolling out the sausage, and I'll twirl the one end one way and the other end the other way, and you can either meet right up or you can use a little twisty gap, whatever. just want two that are similar size and shape, because the two I've done are quite different in size. It's funny, I like doing these fiddly things. Like standing, I absolutely hate things like this. I've got all the patience in the world for. That's my favourite thing to do. So now I think I'm just making random squiggles. Remember, they don't have to match perfectly, they're organic. You know, as long as you've got, say, the main eye-catching bits, which would be the crystals in similar places. I am trying to roughly replicate each side, but I'm not, you know, being too extreme. So I was covering over a bit, it's just awkward. And now I'm just going to roll a few little balls. Just sort of put them randomly. I just do 6, 3 on each side. Just trying to create a kind of a fantasy crater moon effect. But when I'm looking now afterwards, I can see the bottom of those crescent moons where they're not straight. I do fix them up, but they stand out in the moment where I push the diamond in. So anyway, I'm just using a flat topped tool just to squash the circles a little bit and just tidy everything up, then ready to go back in the oven at the manufacturer's recommended temperature. Okay, so they're out of the oven, and I've just rolled some more clay on the number 3. I'm just going to put the back on, and I'm going to use the same sort of crater effect for the back. And I'll be pushing into all the crevices so the clay stays nice and tight, but if you're not confident, use some liquid clay. So this is just a sort of rough push in just to get the shape. I'll re-texturize it at the end. Sorry, I'm on and off having to go over different bits of my microphone because it played up while I was recording. I've had this now with a few videos, so I might have to get another microphone. Although it works fine when I do it here now. It's just when I'm actually doing the claying. Might just be being temperamental. So I'm just remaking the hole with the fresh clay. Now I'm just going around all the edges and just creating a nice little angle and pushing down as well as in to make sure it's all embedding. Okay, and I'll do that to both of them and put them back in the oven. I shall see you on the other side of this. Okay, so I've got them out of the oven and I've got some pearl black Deco Art metallic paint. It's acrylic. I'm just going to use that instead of black to sort of push into all the crevices. Okay, so I'm just trying to embed it in, and then I shall get a wet one and just wipe over the surface. It's quite subtle because I'm not using black, but I like that in this on this occasion. Okay, so I should be doing that on both of them and then just let them dry. Okay, so now they're dry, I'm just going over with a silver acrylic. I'm just going over the top bits that are sticking up, and leaving the darker, the pearl black, to stay slightly shadier. I decided the first silver I'd use wasn't bright enough, so I've just got some silver acrylic ink. I'm just trying that. and it is a little bit better, but I do at the end just go and grab my deco pen and the silver one, and I just sort of touch a few little bits with that just to highlight it a little bit more. I try and just sort of give it a subtle aged look, I suppose. Okay, so I'm just touching the map, and then when I'm happy with them, I'll just let them dry. And like I said, I add the deco pen silver just to touch a few little edges there. Now they're dry, I've just cut out 2 pieces of 20 gauge silver wire. It's about 3 inches. I'm just doing a little hoop at the top. I've just chosen some beads that I think will go with it. And I'm just going to cut the top where I think it would be about right to do another hook at the top. I'm just cutting a bit off because it's a little bit too long. Sorry, I've gone off screen a little bit, haven't I? You can see what I'm doing. Ah, right, I wasn't, because I'm having to do voiceover, I wasn't sure whether I'd filmed using the deco pen, but I am good. I'm literally not as much as before, I'm just catching a few areas. Okay, and then when I've done that and it's all dry, I shall add the beads and then come back with the finished product. Okay, so here they are finished. I zoomed in to see if it would make them any clearer. Okay, so there they are. I'm quite pleased with them. They've got a nice sort of organic look about them. So I hope you enjoyed watching. Bye.